Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. Whether you're tuning in on the radio dial, we welcome you all back to our program, as well as tuning in to our online affiliates around the world and our friends at iHeartRadio. We're glad that you all could join us as well. Aylam Orian is making his first appearance on our program today to talk to us not only about his journey as an actor, but what it's been like for him to bring characters to life. But he's also an individual who's been able to use the spotlight that's on him to raise awareness for causes that matter to him. We'll talk to him about that. And also he's paying it forward for others trying to break into the industry, being able to help them to be able to hone their craft and to become better at what they're doing. If you're just hearing about Aylam, we'll tell you at the end of our segment how you can stay connected with him, as well as how you all can be able to see the beginning of the new series, Stargate Origins. But Aylam, hello to you and welcome to the program.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Hey, the pleasure's definitely all mine. I know a lot of people are gearing up for the new start of Stargate Origins. We're going to remind them, of course, how they can be able to see that. I want to first of all talk about this experience for you, Aylam, to be able to do what you love as an actor. What has that been like for you to bring these characters to life and to see the response from your audience?
You know, it's been great. I've been doing this for a long time, and it's really wonderful to finally reach a point where a lot of people are able to watch what you do, and not only what you do, but what the whole project is. You know, I always love working on really good projects that involve a lot of artists, and this has been one of those. So it's really wonderful to see the work of so many great people coming together, coming to life, and the fans and the audience really liking it. And there's nothing like it.
Yeah. Now, the Stargate series has been amazing to be able to watch it grow. I mean, talk to us about being a part of Stargate Origins. Aylam, I mean, what was the experience like for you?
Well, you know, it's really been great. I remember seeing the first Stargate movie back in '95 in a cinema back in Israel, quite a lot of years ago, and I remember being blown away by it, and especially since at the time, an Israeli actress by the name of Millie Avital was actually cast in this movie, so that was her big breakthrough Hollywood role. So the whole country was cheering for her, and I remember seeing that film in the cinema and loving it. So it's kind of really heartwarming to kind of close a circle and now being part of this franchise. So it's really, I'm very proud of it, and you know, it's really been great. It's been almost like a boot camp. We filmed the entire season over a month. 16 hours a day, and really but coming together, everybody giving their 120%, and then working with some wonderful people like Connor Trenier, who plays Dr. Langford, the kind of one of the leads on the show. And if in case people don't know, he's a veteran of Stargate Atlantis and also Star Trek. So he's a really known figure in the sci-fi world, so I worked with him. Ellie Gall, who plays the lead, Catherine Langford, who's a rather new Australian actress, but, she'll go far for sure. And the entire crew, the crew was very young, to be honest. Like, most of them were in their 20s, very diverse, a lot of people from the LGBTQ community, many females in leading roles, which was really wonderful to have. And, of course, our director, Mercedes Bryce Morgan, who's only about 23 or 24, but you'll hear that name. She just did an amazing job. Put the whole thing together.
Yeah. Well, Aylam, I should say, you actually tweeted about this, and we're going to remind our audience that they can stay connected with you later, that they have already unlocked, so to speak, the first episode of Stargate Origins, so people can actually go to stargatecommand.co to be able to see those, either, of course, through Google Play or the Apple Store. We'll remind them of that a little bit later. I mentioned, though, the other side about what you're doing, though, is not only being able to bring characters to life for yourself, Aylam, but also to be able to show other people. And you even mentioned on your website, I noticed when I was prepping for this segment, that teaching was something that you realized is a passion of yours. I mean, do you feel as though just giving back is just a part of who you are?
Yeah, I love it. I happened to, when I was studying acting in New York at the Lee Strasberg Theater and Film Institute, I actually started working there and stayed working there for the next 10 years. That was my day job while I was pursuing my acting career. So I got to be really an expert in the method, or the Lee Strasberg method. And, when I left the school, I wanted to really do something with all this knowledge that I have in my head and help others do something with it. So I started teaching at the school and then other schools, and then when moving to LA, I taught at the UCLA Extension and a few other places until I opened my own studio. So I really love imparting my knowledge to others and my experience, but also, I really believe in karma, and I notice in my life that when I help others get roles or get jobs or get agents, I get more roles. So it's a win-win situation. You help them, they help you, and all is good.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, and I'm so glad you said that, because I think there are so many people who are afraid, and not just in the acting arena, but also in other fields as well in the creative community, that they feel as though by helping someone else, it kind of diminishes their own light instead of enhancing it. Do you think that is one thing that has definitely served you well, Aylam, is knowing that you could help someone else, and that in no way would affect your own career?
Yeah, there's so many roles right now, so many TV shows, films being done, web series. It's really, there's abundance of it, and there's so many people yearning for work or yearning for the experience of being on set and working as an actor or an actress. So why not? I believe there's a place for everybody. So, I'm not if I'm up for an audition, I'm not going to coach somebody else on the same role for the same job.
Right.
Even though I'll be open to it if somebody asks me to. But, I really believe that whenever I help anybody else to get what they want, there's a place for it. It's not going to ever compete with me. And, if it has to compete with me and the role is really more fitting to them, then so be it. That's the way it was supposed to be.
For sure. I think it's a great way to be able to have a great attitude. I want to say for those who are just tuning in, either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. We're excited to welcome Aylam Orian to our program today. Aylam is talking to us not only about his journey as an actor, but also what it's been like for him to use his platform in a variety of ways. We're going to talk to you even more about that. He's part now, of course, of what people are discussing now, which is Stargate Origins. We'll remind you at the end of our segment how you all can be able to see it and stay connected with that, as well as Aylam as well. So the other side of it is, and I mentioned this to you before we began to say, Aylam, is that you've been able to use the platform that you have to be able to make a difference. Again, on your website, when people go there, they're able to find out about the variety of things that you do, including the causes that you support. Activism is a big part of what you've done. I noticed even, I have to be honest, I was watching one interview hoping that I would be able to learn the correct way of being able to pronounce your name, and I still messed it up before we began the segment. But I saw this great interview you did last year about your work and being able to, especially with animals. Is that also something that you knew you wanted to do, to be able to use the spotlight, to be able to shine a light on things that matter to you that way?
Of course, I have to say, usually when you come to Hollywood and you get to a certain level of success, it's almost kind of a joke. You have to adopt some charities or some causes to be cool. But with me, kind of started the other way. I started as an animal rights activist, or somebody that really loves animals from a young age, and then kind of parallel to my studies and starting to be an actor, it kind of grew. So I run a nonprofit called Our Planet, Theirs Too, referring to, it's our planet, humans, but also theirs, the animals. And we produced the National Animal Rights Day in the U.S., and now it has grown to other countries. So it's in Canada, Germany, France, a few countries in Asia, Australia. So it's really all over the world. And basically that day is, it's almost like Memorial Day and Independence Day combined for animals. So it's nothing, kind of in your face or, crazy like people might think when they hear the word animal rights. It's a very respectful day that really commemorates all the animals that die every year around the globe, but also celebrates the living animals with us and the steps that are being made every year towards ending the suffering of animals, because the world is really going in a good direction of switching to a plant-based diet, which is healthier, better for the planet, also better for animals. So animals is a big passion of mine ever since I was a little kid, and I'm glad to have found a way to use kind of whatever influence I have to speak for animals on behalf of animals. I think some celebs that I look up to are, for example, Moby, who's a major known artist, and he is also a vegan and animal rights activist, animal lover, and he constantly talks about it on his Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. He almost like, as if he didn't have fans that might be turned off by it. He doesn't stop. He talks about animals and what we're doing to animals, how we can help animals, how we can end their suffering, how we can make it better for them. So I really admire that. And I hope to reach a point, like him one day where I have really more influence, to really open people's eyes to what other relationship we could have with animals, including not only, pets or cats and dogs, but all kinds of animals that we currently don't treat really well.
For sure. I got you. And I think that's the thing, too. And I think, it's interesting that you mentioned Moby, who I've had a great deal of respect for, especially musically, Aylam. But I think, it says a lot, too, about how people see you. I mean, does it still surprise you when people come up to you, not only because they recognize you for something that you've done, like the newest project with Stargate Origins, but that they also respect the work that you do? I mean, what has that been like for you to be recognized for that work and to have that work appreciated?
Well, to be honest, the general public doesn't really recognize me yet. But in the animal kind of rescue, animal rights community in the U.S. and a little bit around the world, I'm kind of known. I've been a speaker. Every year there's the annual Animal Rights Conference, which is a big conference in D.C. So I've spoken there a few times. And also people know my nonprofit and the event that we do, the National Animal Rights Day. But it's nice. It's always good to be appreciated, but mostly it always comes down to the cause itself. How can I help more and more animals? Instead of just me doing whatever I can as an individual, how can I harness the power of media and social media to really reach a lot of people around the world?
Right, for sure. I want to go back to Stargate Origins for a moment because you mentioned, as you were talking about the project, Aylam, about the ways, of course, the amount of roles that are out there, and the people who are involved in this. Social media has been a very big part of the push for this. I noticed even when I was on Instagram today, of course, they use that to remind people you can go ahead and stream it now, of course, and again through the website, and we'll give that back out. How has social media kind of helped you, and not only keeping the word out about what you're doing professionally, but also with your activism?
It's I don't know what we could have done without social media. I mean, pretty much all activism in general, and especially in the realm of animals, is done on Facebook. I mean, there's been revolutions done via Facebook, the revolution in Egypt, right, and stuff like that. But it's amazing. I mean, people connecting from all over the world, connecting through Facebook and, Instagram and Twitter and all the other social medias. It's amazing. It's, everybody around the world now wants to connect, and this is a great tool to actually do that and let people share ideas, create friendships, create big projects, from a revolution to a National Animal Rights Day to any other event, or to a film or a TV show. So it's great. So I'm kind of new to social media. I'm not, one of those people that hopped on it 20 years ago, but I'm getting there. But I love it. It's really great to connect with people all over the world and share ideas and share important projects that actually help the world.
Yeah. One last question about the new project, Stargate Origins. I mean, you called him even today, before we had this conversation, Aylam, the main character that you are bringing to life. You called him brilliant but arrogant. Talk to us about the layers of him and how much fun you had in being able to do that.
Well, the funny thing is, or ironic thing is, I'm from a Jewish family that actually half of it was killed by the Nazis during World War II in Europe, and somehow my grandparents escaped Poland before the Nazis took over, and that's how I was born eventually. So it's kind of a paradox, or kind of an irony, that I end up playing a Nazi, but it was kind of part of the challenge. And he's a little kind of funny Nazi. He doesn't go around and kill people. He's more like an archaeologist or occultist. He's interested by the occult, by supernatural phenomena, and that's what drives him. So he's not your typical Nazi, but he's still a megalomaniac, and he's scary, and he's arrogant and mean. But he's really pursuing knowledge and pursuing power. But it was really fun. I mean, it was great to kind of do this guy physically and wear this uniform and do the voice and the German accent and all that stuff, and kind of being mean and bossy to everybody else on set, and having this, really like, kind of battles all the time with Ellie, the lead of the show, Catherine Langford. Like, basically we're butting heads throughout the whole show.
Yeah. Well, it's great for people to be able to see. I mean, definitely follow Aylam's example and go to the website. Again, it's www.stargatecommand.co. He's already tweeted about it. He's posted about it on his other social networks. There you can be able to go ahead and start streaming Stargate Origin. So take advantage of that on your favorite device. Again, the website is stargatecommand.co, or if you're following Aylam on social media, you all can find the link actually on his page there. One question, if there is a scripted question, Aylam, that I've started I think asking people this year, because I'm curious about it yourself. I mean, you do so many different things. I mean, how are you able to, not only appreciate the work that you've done and the success that you've had, much deserved, but also stay present in the moment along the way?
I kind of, first of all, it's good to have other interests in life. Like, we discussed animals, and I do have my cat who's napping here next to me. So that always grounds me, coming back home and realizing that this living creature is here with you, and almost the well-being of him is more important than any other things. Yes, it's always good to kind of come back to what grounds you and remind yourself that, we're doing good projects, and we're doing art. It's all important, it's all great, but we're not curing cancer here or saving people's lives. I mean, we are in a way, but it's all in all, we have the luxury of doing art and doing projects like this. So it's all about gratitude, being grateful that I even have the time and the means to do this, really entertain people and bring stories to life. So I think it's all about kind of grounding yourself, realizing, coming back to a place of groundedness and realizing what's really important in life. Gratitude to being able to do this and not have to, work in a coal mine for 16 hours a day or something like that. And really, it's kind of putting everything in perspective. It's very easy to lose this perspective, especially when you are in Hollywood, the glitz and glamour and for example, what's going on now with social media about the show. But I keep kind of have to remind myself, okay, I'm just a human being here with a cat, a single guy living here in LA with a cat, who's really lucky to be able to do this. And what's really important in this world is, saving people, saving animals, helping the world. And if we have some extra time, then entertaining people, that's kind of an extra thing on top of the basics.
Gotcha. Well, if you're not already, make sure you're staying connected with Aylam. He's made it very easy for you guys to find him. You can go to his website, Aylam Orian, and that is spelled AYLAMORIAN.com. Again, that's AYLAMORIAN.com. There you can be able to stay connected with all of his projects, all of the things that we discussed here, and a lot more. We didn't even get into the music, Aylam, so they can find out more information about that on the website. And then make sure you're staying connected with him on social media. It's just his name. There you can find him on Twitter, on Instagram, and make sure you all are following him to stay updated on all his projects. Aylam, really appreciate the time today. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I look forward to speaking with you again.
Thank you. It's been a real pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. I want to thank our good friend Zach Tepperman for setting up this conversation with all of us, and definitely appreciate all of you for joining us. And if you all came in late and missed part of the conversation with Aylam, don't worry. Thanks to our online friends, you all can catch the replay right after we go off the air. The link is already available through our social media site. So head over to Facebook.com/Cyrus Webb or go to Twitter.com/Cyrus Webb. If you click on the link there, you can listen to the show completely for free and share with your friends from there too. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Make sure you take out time to enjoy some good music as well as a great book. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. You all make it a great one.